quick moment. There we go. So I want to welcome you again and thank you for your interest in George Brown College. I'll give you a little bit about the college for starters. We are the only one of the GTA colleges that is in the heart of downtown Toronto. We have three main campuses that really house the majority of our 30,000 students, and they're listed there on the right hand side of the screen: CL, SJ, and W. That would be Cataloma, St. James campus, and our waterfront campus. Hopefully you can see within the map there roughly where they're located downtown. The program that we're talking about today is at our St. James campus, and it is the largest of our campuses by volume of students. We have around 14 to 16,000 students here when we're up and running in September. That's the beginning usually of our academic cycle here, we're a very large campus and very, very centrally located. We're close to the Centre for Business for Toronto. It's about a 10-minute walk from King Station, which is our subway station here. It's very close to our St. Lawrence Market, our famous Eaton Shopping Centre, and a short walk or transit ride to many of the event and sporting arenas that we have here in downtown Toronto. So a really exciting, vibrant place to study. Of course, while you're here, we also have a number of services and things on campus to make you feel like you're part of a community and make you feel supported in and outside of the classroom. From new student orientations to athletics, we have student-friendly spaces, our campus bookstore, lots and lots of stuff and supports for when you get here in order to help you be as successful as you possibly can be. So that's where I'm going to leave off and pass you over, of course, to the main presentation, and I'm going to hand the reins over to Anu.
Thank you, Adam. Welcome, everyone, and I'd like to introduce myself again. My name is Anu Harder, and I'm the program coordinator as well as a professor in International Business Management program. Globalization has truly connected our world like never before, with free trade agreements, improved communication, and logistics technology. Millions of goods and services are moving seamlessly across countries and continents every day thanks to international business professionals. So if this process interests you, this program might be one for you to take a second look at. As Adam stated, George Brown College is in the heart of Toronto, which is a thriving, multicultural, diverse global city, a wonderful place to study international business. Now today I'd like to just go through quickly what I will be covering in the next 15-20 minutes. We're going to talk quickly about admission requirements. I've drawn up a little student profile for success, a graduate profile, and then we'll talk about the program in its various semesters and courses and designations that you can pursue in addition to your George Brown certificate. We like to, in George Brown, connect you to the international business world, which is all around us, and I'll talk about our initiatives and as well as our career options after graduation. So for admission requirements, we require at least a 3-year advanced diploma or a bachelor's degree, work experience, and we ask for a resume and references. This program attracts students from all over the world, from almost every discipline imaginable. If you're an international student, there's also an English language test. So what is the profile for success of our students? Well, I would say one of the first skills that we want to really work on with our students is giving them experience in working with diverse teams, because in the international business environment, everything depends, the success of movement of goods depends on many people and their ability to work together and problem solve, which would help with analytical skills. It's a 2-semester program and it is very high workload, 6 courses per semester. So a tenacious student is very, very useful. An interest in multidisciplinary studies, because international business is affected by politics, by history, by many, many disciplines. And luckily, our students are so diverse that we share these disciplines to make better decisions. And of course, the last one, many, many business deals falter, or they fall through, or they have issues that need to be solved. So in the international business environment, an optimistic attitude is really a winning skill. So what does our graduate look like? Well, after graduating from this program, you will be proficient in researching, analyzing, and developing business strategies that are going to help companies that you work for later support their trade initiatives. You will learn about corporate social responsibility, which is a more holistic business approach. Businesses and corporations now do not just look at the financial bottom line. They are also very attuned to the environmental sustainability of their business practices, as well as how they serve the community in which they operate. Then there's the technical skills that you learn in this program, and that is how to prepare documents and procedures to support those movements of products and services throughout the organization's global supply chain. And working in the international business environment, you work with many cultures, and we will work on negotiation and culture theory to help you become a more effective communicator across the globe. The program, as I mentioned, is 2 semesters. We have 3 intakes a year, September, May, and January. There are 6 courses per semester, 3 hours each, so that's a total of 18 hours, and that's scheduled between Monday and Friday, anytime between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Now, in the first semester, you will first take Global Trade Assessment, which is a research-based course to teach you how to do academic research, business research, citations, and database research to give you the foundation for the other parts of the course. Then there's International Sales and Marketing, which is adding the international component to marketing theory. Supply chain management and international market entry strategies. Then there are 2 Part 1 courses, and they're in the second semester, they're Part 2, and that is freight forwarding and customs procedures. Your second semester, you will study international trade finance to help you understand the financial movement around the world that follows goods and services. International trade management will give you a broad brushed view on all aspects of a corporation and its operations. And then, of course, the Part 2 of customs and freight forwarding. We are a very student-centered college, and we therefore want to expose you to the business community around us. So we have an international speaker series where you have a new speaker every week in a course, and therefore you can ask questions and gain practical knowledge of what some of the career options are. Finally, we have a capstone course. This is a course, it's a real life marketing and business simulation, computer simulation, which is done in a team, and it incorporates all the skills of the other 11 courses that you've taken in this program and helps you synthesize and make business decisions. You can also, in addition to your George Brown postgraduate certificate, pursue other designations that will help you on the international trade careers. We are affiliated with the Forum for International Trade and Training, FIT, and you can work towards a Certified International Trade Professional designation, and I've added the website for you to look into that. As well, our courses are accepted towards the Canadian International Freight Forwarders Association certification. This association has over 200 member companies. And again, I've provided the website for you to obtain more information. As I mentioned, we are a student-centered college, and we want to connect you to the international business world while you're studying. So we have the International Business Guest Speaker Series, as I mentioned, but we also have events throughout the year where we bring in international business professionals. The capstone project, as I mentioned, is multidisciplinary application of a real-world simulation. And the team aspect of it is very highly stressed, so you get to work with different people. We do some events called speed mentoring where we bring in employers and we have students meet them in very quick sessions, 3 to 5 minutes, where they quickly talk. You gain some access to employers as well as get feedback on your interview and communication skills. We have dozens of student associations around campus that you join to improve your skills, to gain some actual Canadian experience in running events, etc., which will help you in your career. And then speaking of careers, we have a wonderful career services department here, and they will counsel you on your resume, interview skills, and job search counseling, and help you launch your career in Canada. The career options are extremely diverse. There are many entry-level business positions that you can enter. I'm just going to mention a few, but there are many more. So you could look at export control analyst, where you are making sure that your organization is following the codes and trade agreements and regulations of the governments of the products while you move products. A junior import coordinator, and that word coordinator is used very often in business management because you're working with many people to ensure the import of goods, or a logistics or customs coordinator that looks at how to get goods across many continents. And finally, the international business analyst positions are very useful because you obtain research and analytical skills, and therefore you can be a wonderful resource to companies that are trying to make decisions whether to expand in another country or perhaps even just export their products. This concludes the formal portion of our webinar, and I have included some contacts here. If you want to contact me personally about the program with a specific question, then my email is at the bottom of the page. Otherwise, we also have included the business, the international business, if you're an international student, and admissions emails for your review.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Anu.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So at this point, we're going to open up the chat to any questions that people might have. This is a fantastic opportunity for you to ask Anu anything about the program. More about content for the program. If you do have any questions about admissions or any questions as an international student for admissions, like I said before, our international rep is here, but you can always email them directly at the links there. So we're happy to take some questions now. We'll just stand by as they come in.
There's a question here. Would you tell me more about guest speakers? Well, we have industry partnerships at the college. Our faculty are all business professionals with experience. So we reach out to various companies. They could be logistics companies, they could be freight forwarders, they could be consumer products companies. So we try to get broad base of guest speakers in various roles that can answer your questions on what kinds of careers that their companies offer and what kinds of functions that they do. So that hopefully it gives you a really good background. Yes, the capstone project, and we are just making a bit of a change to it. We're going to do a real world computer simulation. And what that means is, as a team, you're going to have a real world sort of business problem, but it is through a computer simulation. And various teams then compete with respect to coming up with business solutions in international trade environments. There's a question about semesters. Yes, they are back to back. There's a week or two break in between, but yes, they're back to back, 8 months. I've got a question here about the college timing. I'm assuming that means what hours, but schedules are done before the semester, but they're different every semester, but it is any time between Monday and Friday between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 18 hours. There's a student asking about career options within finance departments, which includes accounting, controls, and financial advice. Yes, the banks in the Toronto area are big 6 chartered banks, as well as the various other banks, are all looking at George Brown College students for trade finance positions. So yes, you can enter on an entry level in the trade finance or trade operations departments of various banks, etc. Well, the prospects of employment from this course really depend on the student. Our students come from a diverse background, so everyone has a different type of undergraduate expertise. The International Business Certificate here launches you with skills and perhaps some certifications if you pursue them to help you get an entry-level position. But I find that the students that have the most career options are ones that are very involved with campus, with associations that try to gain a little bit of Canadian experience in working with people here. So I've been asked about, can we choose the timings? No, the schedule. There's 18 hours each week, and there are no choices because we only run those courses during that time. There's a question about applying to your master's. Every single university with respect to the master's has different requirements. So it's not an easy question. It would depend on your undergraduate degree and how it's recognized here. And every single university has individual regulations. So you would, when you come here, you can then apply to various schools and find their rules.
Okay, and I just want to indicate to you all that our fabulous business rep has put a survey into the presentation, into the chat here. If you please would take just a quick moment, you can click on the link that's right there in the chat and fill out the survey just to let us know how wonderful it was, and we can continue to keep these great for you all who are attending. So please, you're welcome to take a moment to do that. If there aren't any other questions, we will still stand by for a moment. But if there aren't any other questions, you are welcome to leave the session. Again, the links are there, including a news. And so please, if you do have questions, don't hesitate to email any of the fabulous contacts that we have listed there. Anu, I want to thank you very much for your time and the fabulous presentation. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we leave?
I just wanted to thank everyone for joining in, and good luck with your future studies, and we hope to see you at George Brown College.